Folks, we're trying to smile this morning because we're just plain living, but Julia was in the back room, and she's usually the one that gives us the cue to smile. I'm John Gray. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm
smiling.
I'm smiling too. And I'm Jim Puller. Yeah, that's right.
The sun's shining.
Isn't it a shame?
It's not raining.
And the heat is off again. So
yeah.
I'm turning the air conditioner on. That's a good sign.
Yeah. It's
there
going to be
pretty
warm. This is Tuesday.
I've even
we're
stuck
filming this. Yeah, it's going to be 85 today.
I've even stuck my big toe in the pool.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I think it's going to warm up. It is
toes
beautiful.
in the water and toes in the sand.
All you peeping Toms out there, Peggy's got a bikini on getting in the pool.
Right. Dream on.
Several of them. Zach Brown Band did it. There was somebody else that did it too.
Darius?
I think Darius Rucker,
yeah,
he might have done it. That's one of those songs that
it's not important.
Yeah, a lot of people
all kinds of people have done.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking about that, songs, one of my favorite songwriters is Don Williams.
Because?
Well, he's wonderful. I mean, Good Old Boys Like Me, and I love Hank and Tennessee, the Williams Boys, and I mean he's written stuff. He's written incredible stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, he's soft spoken, and he's going to have a new album out. He's not going to be on it, but everybody from Garth Brooks to Tony Bennett are going to sing his songs, Don Williams songs. Yeah.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's very smart to get those people to sing on his album because he'll sell to a wide age.
I'm sure he's not the one that put that together because he's a very unassuming individual. And somebody else probably decided to tribute to him. Let's do this.
That's a good
I'm
idea.
sure his children will be very proud that they're doing it because they'll be the ones cashing those checks.
Yeah, Don Williams has been around a long time.
Long
he must
time.
be in his late 70s.
Yeah, he and Roger Miller, and he was in that kind of group back in there when that kind of music was not just country and western. It was sort of poppy.
Yeah. And a lot of those songs crossed over into pop.
Very much so. Very much so.
I saw Roger Miller on stage many years ago when we were stationed in Texas. And all he did was sit on a stool with his acoustic guitar, and I was mesmerized by. There we were in an auditorium with probably at least 2,000 people, and he was very confident. He was very young, but he was very confident, and his music was so extremely different from what I'd been hearing. Then he wrote a musical.
Yeah.
Roger Miller did. I didn't know that.
He was on Broadway.
Tom Sawyer. It was about them, but. Was that the name of it? I can't remember. I think it was
Well,
Tom
the thing
Sawyer.
I learned about Roger when I was involved in this Ray Price stuff is Ray Price's band, when he was out in Texas, Roger Miller played rhythm guitar for him and Willie Nelson played bass. And somebody asked him one time, said, "What happened to your band?" And he said, I couldn't afford them anymore. They got to where they were making more money than he was.
I'm sure that's happened to a lot of artists.
A lot of those folks.
You know, at one time that happened to Ray Price, didn't it? I mean, Ray worked with orchestras, huge orchestras.
Oh yeah.
And go ahead.
Look at our own Brandon Wren.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing now with. Oh, what's her name? Elena
so-and-so.
Something, anyway.
She had a #1 song a couple weeks ago.
She's got a #1 song, and he has played on the country show for so many years, and now he's right at the top, and I'm so proud of him.
Well, one week he was on the Today Show, and 1 week he was on the Good Morning America show. I've talked to him about that. I emailed him, and he said he would love to come in here and spend some time with us the next time he was around town. I told him it doesn't make a difference what day it is.
Yeah, just come
and sit down and let's talk. And I'm real proud for him.
I am so proud for him. He's a nice young man.
He certainly is.
Is that Kenny Wren's son?
Yeah, he's a bass player.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then Blake is the gun-slinging lead guitar player.
Now, Kenny actually made a living
with guitar,
entertaining for years.
He played rhythm for
our country show for a long time.
Yeah, but he played rhythm for
big people.
Waylon Jennings.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he was a rhythm guitar player for Waylon Jennings for a long time.
A lot of talent.
Yeah.
The Wren brothers. And
Kenny. Father.
Yeah.
Brothers and father, yeah. So I forgot my list. I'll go get it in a minute. We had Miss Tullahoma this weekend, and I've got the thing back there in the back to give you.
Do you have a lot of participants in that?
Well, no, not really.
Not as many.
There was 27 in the big girls, 22 in the middle school, and 12 in the littles. And I can remember when I was in school, there'd be 125, 150 of them.
Everybody wanted to be in the Miss Tullahoma contest.
Of course, there weren't a whole lot of other things going on.
But right now, there's
back then, and now I think the distinguished young woman. There's a distinguished young woman thing that gets done that gets them in line to go to the Miss Tennessee contest, and so some of those girls are doing that. Some of them choose to do that and not do the Miss Tullahoma. And a lot of those young ladies who you would think would be in it just aren't interested in it, and their mamas aren't. They're not being pushed into doing it, and I think that's wonderful that they have enough confidence in themselves that they don't feel like they have to do that.
Yeah.
To be pretty.
Because. And they shouldn't have to do that to be pretty, but it's also, it is a confidence builder.
Oh, it is. It is.
But I think a lot of people get left out, and maybe it's a real downer for those that get left out. So there's a balance one is always looking for.
Well, we all get left out sooner or later.
Like for instance, they're now beginning to show more plus-size models, modeling clothes. But everybody's not built like a pencil.
No, that's true.
So,
John and I have known that for years.
Yeah.
We applaud that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't want no anorexic chick. I like one with meat on their bones.
Which leads me, this is Mental Health Month. And all that ties into mental health. And we have a couple on the show today.
Well, good.
We're going to discuss that.
Yeah.
So,
Soapbox Derby was Saturday.
Who won that? Do you know?
I don't know, but we've got video of it, I believe, here.
And
so we'll probably find that out today.
I tell you what, I was visiting with the Miss Tullahoma, with Anna Stevens, and I asked her, I said, well, what do you do? This was off camera. And I said, well, what do you do other than just being pretty? I said, what are you involved in? And she said, I don't do much. I said, you're not in clubs? Nope, I don't do that. She said, I study and I work. I have a full-time job and I study, and I'm going to be some sort of engineering type thing. And she said, that's what I care about. And she said, I don't feel like I have to do that other stuff. She said, I need to take a nap every day. And that's one of my goals, is to take a nap every day to keep my brain functioning good. And because I know which direction I'm headed, and I don't feel like I need to do some of this other stuff for somebody to guide me where I'm going. She's senior.
Yeah.
She's senior.
Yeah.
Well, good for her, because when I was in high school, I didn't have a clue where I was going.
What graduation? Oh, I was so anxious to get out of high school. I was so ready to get into college. Yeah, I just marked the days, but I had a good time.
Speaking of that, we've got graduation coming up next week. Who was the quarterback that played for Ohio State that won as a sophomore, big old boy? Came in, and after the third, he was the third quarterback to play that year. And
recently?
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 years ago. Ended up winning the national championship.
Braxton, maybe? No.
Well, he's a big old boy, and they were showing yesterday on television where he tweeted, said, "Me don't play classroom. Me play football. Why do I need to go to class? I'm up here to play football. I don't care about school." And he graduated from Ohio State.
Well, good for him.
And on top of his hat, he flipped his hat, he had flat hat down, and it said, "Me do play school." Then he got his degree, so good for him.
I am very proud of him for a lot of reasons, because I know when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I was studying accounting, and then I got this job. I really wanted to be an accountant, and then I got this job in management in Atlanta, as you well know, and I decided I don't need to know this.
Yeah.
And then I got another pretty good job, and when things went on. However, when I hit my 50s, I thought many times when I'm running a nightclub, Lord, I wished I'd have got I wished I'd have got that degree.
In accounting, yeah.
But,
That's something
anyway,
we all need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Get your degree.
Well, and when you're young and 10 foot tall and bulletproof, it's hard to tell us anything. One little story, I love Benny Goodman.
Yeah.
And so at one point when I was 25 years old, I bought a clarinet.
Because you were going to
I wanted to play a clarinet because I love Benny Goodman and all those old songs.
Did you practice 8 hours a day?
No, I didn't practice 8 hours a day, but I practiced and I practiced, and I got to where I could do pretty good with what was on the album that I had. But I don't know whether it was arrogance or what. I thought, I'm not going to take any lessons. If I was going to do this, I'm too old to do this. I should have done it in high school, been in band. I'm past that. Well, right now, if I'd have kept doing that, I would have been playing for 44 years now. Think how good I could be.
Think how good you would be.
Exactly.
And so I say that to say you're never too old. Don't give up.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, do it. Colonel Sanders opened his first chicken store when he was, 68 years old?
Yeah, he was pretty late in life, yeah.
Don't quit. It's always wide open for you out there. Get in there and get you some. Huh?
Okay.
That's right.
Go get it. Go get
Seems
it.
like a good
Grab
idea.
life by the ears and choke it. Get all you can get out of it. It doesn't last forever.
Nothing lasts forever.
Good advice, John.
Yeah,
Good advice.
Well, every now and then there's
Loretta
a pearl.
Lynn had a stroke.
Did she?
And
Yes.
According to the news this morning, as I was walking on the treadmill, they hope that she will make a full recovery.
Yeah. Well,
And,
I hope it wasn't bad. But she's not a young
She's
chick
84.
either. 84 years old.
Yeah.
So you don't have to quit.
No, don't quit.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Don't ever quit. Just keep on doing it.
Yeah, because
Just,
Loretta Lynn was still touring, I think.
She was still touring, and
some,
they
anyway.
suggested she probably take a year off from touring.
Yeah.
Why not?
So
we're going
that's
to take about a minute and a half off from this show to bring you a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with Chief Blackwell and find out what kind of cop tip we can get today.
Good.
Have you ever been involved in one of these? And you need one of these? Then look no further than the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center with a state-of-the-art facility, aluminum capabilities, lifetime paint guarantee, Russell Barnett auto rental, claims assistance from start to finish. We are here to serve you. So stop by and let us show you why we are #1, the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center.
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell, who is here because he's the star of the Police Pointers segment. But not only is he up to date on police matters, Paul knows a little bit about most everything that you'll encounter here in Tullahoma.
I try to stay on top of things. I think that's part of the job, to know a little bit about what's going on in everything.
Jackson Street is tore up. When do you expect that to be completed?
I would have to ask Wayne Limbaugh.
Oh,
He is the Public Works Director.
Okay.
But I think that's probably the $100 question right now. When are they going to finish it?
Yeah, which I guess they've been delayed somewhat because of
The weather hasn't
yeah.
been cooperative, and they're like many of us that have activities planned, we look at the weather and have to make an assessment or decision as to do we do it, do we not, and I guess the weather reports just haven't been favorable to doing some work at night.
Okay, one other question is not really under your department, but
I could probably direct you to the right person.
Somebody asked the mayor yesterday, why is there a camera at the intersection of Clement Drive and Highway 130, I guess.
And that's a good question, and I believe Mr. Baltz answered that the other day.
Yeah.
Because the email was sent to both Mr. Baltz and myself, so I let Mr. Baltz answer those questions when we're both on the email. But those cameras at that intersection are motion activated, so there's no loop in the road. You know, most intersections have something under the pavement that triggers when a car passes over it, but at those intersections it's a camera that does it. So it detects the motion and then it activates the lights based on the vehicle traffic.
And I suppose that works pretty efficiently.
It does.
You think?
And we have the same type set up at the corner of Lincoln and Atlantic. If you look up, you'll see that camera up there. Those are not video cameras. They are motion detection cameras for the vehicles.
Oh, okay. All right.
And in some places, they have another feature on them that picks up the sound of a siren. So as a siren approaches it and the tone and ever changes, it'll activate the lights to where the emergency vehicle has a green light. But these aren't set up that way, but there is that capability as well, which is a safety factor so that emergency vehicles have a green light when they go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, now that's a pretty significant piece of information. I'm surprised we've never talked about that. But that is, you know, there's
it just took one citizen asking the question.
Somebody asked that question.
Yeah.
So is that where it's all going to go to one day, or is it?
You know, I guess that would be. I would think there's a lot less expense in that type of. And easier to repair, because if that loop goes out, you got to tear the pavement up to repair the loop, and anytime you resurface the road, you know, does that have an impact on the loop?
Right.
So when it's above ground and up there, I could see there's a lot of advantages to that.
Right.
And I'm like you. I think everything before long is going to be, you know, technology based, wireless transmissions and everything, and I think that's possibly what's going to be in the future. Go to some of these big cities and go to the intersections and look at all of the things they have at those intersections. You know, I was in Gallatin over the weekend, and at an intersection you've got the photo, the camera, you know, the red light cameras.
I think PED Productions has paid some tickets in the city of Gallatin as a result of that.
But if you look at all the apparatuses that are on the, you know, it could be a wireless not a router, but you know, an access point.
Right.
But you'll see there's a lot of technology at these traffic lights.
And a lot of cities use cameras to give tickets by cameras.
I think it's becoming less and less because of the
somewhat controversial
the outcry from the public, and even from our legislators.
To my knowledge, we've never used those until
we don't have any. We don't have any photo enforcement cameras.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we do have our speed trailer that we put out in different locations that has the ability to take a picture, but it doesn't issue a citation. So if we've got a car that's going 90 miles an hour, it's going to take its picture, and we get a notification, so we can try to locate that vehicle. Or, you know, we do police work and say, okay, they came through at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on this day. We're just going to have an officer out there tomorrow at 3 o'clock, see if that same car comes through.
Correct.
Because people are generally creatures of habit and do the same thing. So that's the only thing we use a camera for, to take pictures of violators.
One of the funniest things, and this has only happened a couple of years ago, but one of the Tullahoma aldermen asked Chief Blackwell, "What's the deal with these signs out here that tell you how fast you're going?" He said, "Every time I go through there, it is flashing." And Chief Blackwell told him, "That's because you're speeding if it's flashing." So, okay. All right, you came to talk about Police Memorial.
We came to talk about Police Memorial Day. That's correct. Next week, May 15th, which is Monday, we'll be holding our annual Police Memorial Day ceremony. And that's a part of Police Memorial Week, which goes from Sunday to Saturday. And it's a presidential proclamation that takes that time of the year to honor law enforcement and those that have died in the line of duty. Tullahoma's lost 5 officers in the line of duty, so we'll take that opportunity just to talk about them and pay tribute to them, and have a lot of our police officers out where they can interact with the public. And we invite everybody to come to South Jackson Civic Center Monday, the 15th at noontime, 12 o'clock. We try to keep the ceremony about 30 minutes so that people can get away on their lunch hour, run down there. Then we have a small reception afterwards in South Jackson. So if they can stick around, that's always enjoyable, just to fellowship with people.
Sure.
But as I said, we had 5 officers that have been killed in the line of duty. And just quickly to go over it, we had 2 of them in 1934 that were killed on the same day. The Chief of Police, E.C. Armstrong, and another officer, Charles Holt, were killed in December 1934 by gunshots. They responded to a domestic incident, and the man that was involved pulled a gun and first shot the chief. Then he took off running, and the other officer confronted him at one of the churches, exchanged gunfire, and he was fatally wounded. State trooper had also responded. He was fatally wounded. So actually that day we lost 3 law enforcement officers.
That was a sad day.
It was. The bad guy was killed.
Right.
And he was shot by another state trooper that was responding, and that state trooper later became chief of police here, W.C. Hale. So that all occurred in one day. Also, they lost a state trooper that same day that was escorting one of the people to Nashville. He was a motorcycle officer, and he got hit and killed. So actually 4 officers were killed that day in relation to that incident.
Unbelievable.
Yes. And then a couple years later in 1936, Officer James Flippo was killed. He was escorting a prisoner to the jail. The prisoner attacked him, took his gun, shot and killed him. So that's 3 within a 2-year time period back then. Then in 1970, 2 officers were coming back from Manchester. They dropped someone off at the jail, and they were involved in a head-on traffic collision on Highway 55. Officer Henry Travis was killed instantly, and Officer Clifford Riddle was severely injured, and he was in a coma, and he remained in a coma until 1987 when he passed away. So Tullahoma has not been immune.
Mr. Riddle never actually regained consciousness.
He remained in the coma the entire time. So to have lost 5 officers in less than 100 years, that's pretty significant. And we just want to pay tribute to them on Monday. So we invite the public to come out and just be a part of the ceremony.
Right.
We do it each year, and if not to pay honor to those that have lost, but to be able just to interact with the officers that we have out there. And we usually have a good number of them out there.
Mr. Travis and Mr. Riddle were killed during my lifetime. I remember that happening. I just wonder, that was in I think you said the 70s.
1970.
1970. Probably police cars today are somewhat, maybe a lot safer than that.
I don't know. They were in one of those big old cars, that almost looks like a tank back in the 70s.
Right.
But that head-on collision, I'm sure seat belts were not,
I don't remember
didn't use them. We didn't have the airbags.
Right.
So there were probably some safety features we have now they didn't have back then.
Right.
But what's ironic, Bobby South. Do you remember Bobby South? He worked that accident.
Yeah.
And, Bobby South's been a trooper around here for years and years and years. Unfortunately, we lost him, I believe, last year. But, there's still a lot of people around that remember that incident.
Yeah, and because I remember it was such a shock at that time, I just don't remember police cars being in fatal wrecks much,
Yeah.
And I also don't remember police officers getting killed very often at that time.
And now we look at it, and this day on Monday is to recognize those that have been killed. Since they started keeping the stats that go back to like 1780, there's been over 23,000 law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty.
That's
a lot.
That's a lot.
Last year, we lost 144 officers. And this year, up to this point, we've already lost, I believe it's 72.
That's unreal. Do you think that number is increasing and we're getting...
I think the numbers are showing that they're increasing.
Yeah.
People are becoming a little more well, just watch the news.
Right.
You know, police officers are being attacked for absolutely no reason at all.
Right.
Just for being there, just for wearing a uniform.
Right.
You know, so I think those instances are becoming a little more prevalent.
Okay. All right, that's coming up this Monday.
Monday at noontime.
At noontime.
May 15th.
All right.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is, The Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is, The Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
A world without breast cancer is a world with more birthdays. And signing up for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will help us get there faster. The American Cancer Society invests in groundbreaking breast cancer research, and we're part of every community. In fact, 1 in 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer turns to us for support. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. Together, we can finish the fight against breast cancer.
Okay, folks, we're back, and we've got some bikers up here today, and I asked them where their tattoos were, but wrong kind of bikers. We've got Hunter Norris and Julia Harrison up here with us today. Hi. And you have an event coming up, and the kind of bike you ride have pedals on them.
We do.
They're the healthy kind. Well, not that the other kind are unhealthy, but...
We're here representing the Highland Rim Bicycle Club. I have Julia Harrison, our secretary from the club, and we're promoting the Ride of Silence. This is something we've done every year here in Tullahoma. It's an event to honor and memorialize those that are injured or killed while riding their bicycle worldwide. It started in 2003, where a cyclist in Dallas, Texas, was actually killed by a school bus that went by, and the mirror hit him and knocked him down and killed him. And they had an impromptu bicycle memorial for him in Dallas that year. Had 1,000 bicyclists come to that, and it was just supposed to be a one-time event, but it turned out to be an annual event. It's
That's
now
wonderful.
Celebrated in all 50 states. There's 440 cities doing this, and it's all on Wednesday, May 17th at 7 p.m., and we're doing it at Fraser McEwen Park. And we invite the public to come. Any age can come. We ride at 12 miles per hour. It's a silent ride. That's why it's called the Ride of Silence, to honor and memorialize those that are killed and injured while cycling. And we only do about a 10-mile loop. The Tullahoma Police Department will escort us on motorcycles and bicycles through the city, and we welcome anyone to come out.
Well, that's wonderful. A question for you, because I know both of you ride as well, I'm sure. Have been riding for quite some time. Do you see a drastic change over the last 25 or 30 years as to the respect a bicyclist gets on the road compared to what it was back in those days? Has that? I would think that has changed a great deal.
Even longer than me.
I think it kind of depends on where you are, maybe, but I think, and I want to hope that it is,
right.
You know, because, well, we should share the road, and I didn't even know this until a few years ago, but the roads were actually paved because years ago, bicyclists lobbied for that because they were riding those great big crazy things that, you know, those the huge wheels, and and they were really hard to ride on gravel.
Right.
But yeah, so that's where paved roads came from, and I was like, wow. But I want to hope that, yeah, and you know, there's been a lot of legislation and things like that to promote it, and of course people have understood and have discovered the health benefits, not just the transportation of a bicycle. I mean, people have, their lives have changed because they've started riding their bikes and their health has improved. They've lost weight. Their, you know, symptoms have gone, that sort of thing. Plus, you know, you're helping the environment and you're getting where you want to go, meeting great people.
Yeah, and
we've made all kinds of great friends and contacts here from riding bikes.
And think what kind of good shape you were in as a kid. You know, and I made a trip out west several years ago for Eddie Bauer. I was in every state west of the Mississippi, and the further west I got, like out in Seattle and those states out there, I mean, there's people riding bicycles to work. I mean, they have their suit coat and their good shoes and a backpack, and they're riding rain or shine. They're riding to work and getting to work and putting their jacket on and their good shoes or whatever. So
our daughter
like you
does
say,
that. She lives in
where
San Francisco. She does that. She rides or walks every day to the train or the ferry and takes it in. But yeah, and when we've been over there visiting, it's incredible how the people in cars are so obvious of pedestrians, whether you're walking or biking. We have had people in cars that kind of come up to the intersection and they'll see us. They will back up and give us plenty of clearance to walk or bike across.
Right.
You're like, wow.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's awesome that they, you know, recognize that you're there.
The month of May is actually Bicycle Month, and the third Friday is Ride Your Bike to Work Day.
Yes.
That's great.
Then we have a Ride of Silence on the third Wednesday, May 17th. But we're emphasizing that we need to share the road. We want motorists to be aware that we're there, and in Tennessee, most people don't realize there is a 3-foot rule that you have to stay away from a cyclist, at least by 3 feet.
Right. And you know, in a lot of towns, I did a lot of work in Franklin and Brentwood and up in that area out there. They have striped off bicycle lanes.
Yes.
You know, on the side of the highway. I mean, a lot of their highways are in those towns like that where they have a lot of money because it takes extra money. Those roads are that much wider to allow cycling on each side of the highway.
So we're working with a group in Manchester and Tullahoma are working together, and we're working with TDOT too, and to try to bring more bike paths and make our area more pedestrian friendly. And so we've been working with Bonnie Gamble and Winston Brooks and various people to do that. And we found out that when they are constructing new roads now, if it is a good place for a bike path, they're trying to include that when they repave.
Right.
Yeah.
So now is it? I'm sorry, I don't want to run out of time.
Okay.
This is a free event, or is this a fundraiser? How does that work?
No, it's completely free.
All right, that's good. That's good. I just want people need to know out there, because I'm sure you do have fundraisers at some time, don't you?
We do. We have an annual ride.
Okay.
But
in addition to this,
people should just bring their own bike. Needs to be road ready, and they should need to wear a helmet. And that's all they've got to bring.
Yeah. Wear a helmet.
Yeah.
And that again is at Fraser McEwen Park.
Yes, sir.
Wednesday,
May 17th.
May 17th.
Come a little bit before 7. We hope to have the junior ROTC from the high school here in Tullahoma present the colors, and Scott Byram, who's the minister at Thompson Creek Baptist Church in Ross, he's a fellow cyclist. He's going to be there to lead our prayer.
Very good. Thank you so much for being with us, and good luck.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Hunter, it's always a pleasure.
Good to see you too. Say hi to Fran for me.
Will do. We'll be right back after these messages. ladies and gentlemen, this is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the Painworks where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Painworks at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Painworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Painworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Cool off this summer at Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers. Tasty food items are available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 5. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch. And, John, we're here today with segment 49 of the Conversations with John and Pat.
Well, this is a song that my brother does. He really does a fine job in it. And it's normally the last song that we do whenever we entertain. And we called it the Rooster Song, simply the Rooster Song. And Ms. Willie Bell Ferris, who recently passed away, I think it was her favorite song. And we go over it, you know Miss J.D. Ramsey? She loves it.
John, I've heard this performed at a Rotary function one time to a rousing.
Oh, it brings the house down.
Oh, rousing.
My brother, he knocks it out.
You had to hold his bass for him while he danced.
Oh, yeah. And no hen wouldn't lay no eggs. And an old hen wouldn't lay no eggs. Then that rooster out in our yard caught that old hen right off her guard. We're having eggs now. We're having eggs now. Since that rooster came in our yard. Whoa, we're having eggs now. We're having eggs now. Since that rooster came into our yard. Had an old dog, wouldn't have no pups. Had an old dog, wouldn't have no pups. Then that rooster out in our yard caught my old dog right off her guard. We're having bird dogs. We're having bird dogs. Since that rooster came in our yard. We're having bird dogs. We're having bird dogs. Since that rooster came into our yard. Had an old cow, wouldn't give no milk. Had an old cow, wouldn't give no milk. Then that rooster out in our yard. Caught that old cow right off her guard. We're having eggnog, we're having eggnog, since that rooster came in our yard. We're having eggnog, we're having eggnog, since that rooster came into our yard. Had an old aunt, didn't have no kids.
Uh-oh.
Had an old aunt, didn't have no kids. Then that rooster out in our yard caught my old aunt right off her guard. We're having fried chicken, we're having fried chicken, since that rooster came in our yard. Whoa, we're having fried chicken, we're having fried chicken, since that rooster came into our yard. There's no more rooster out in our yard.
A rousing success.
Little different kind of song,
yes.
You know.
Yeah.
My brother, first time he ever sang that, he did it for my mother on Mother's Day, probably, I don't know how many years ago. My mother, every time he'd do a verse, she said, "Jimmy, that's enough." He'd do another one. "Jimmy, that's plenty." And he'd keep singing, "Jimmy, that's enough." He'd keep going.
Now she'd just be tickled.
That's right. We're talking about golfers today. Tullahoma has had lots of good athletes and lots of teams and individual teams, success, but we're wanting to acknowledge the team that won the golf state championship many years ago. Dale Phelps was the coach. Would you put that up, Philip?
In fact, I think, John, they won twice during that era.
I believe they did too, Pat.
Yeah. And at that same time, or within a year or two of it, was this 74?
I believe it is.
78. Excuse me, those boys not that old.
This says 74. I might have marked it wrong.
But no, he's wrong. Philip's right. It is 78.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a little bit, a little younger than that. But there was Karen Romberg.
Yeah.
Won either one or two, and she was a runner-up another time, and had a really good career at the University of Indiana. She was a good player.
There's Dale on the left.
Dale Phelps on the left. He's since passed away. Was a really successful basketball coach. Let's see, and the next is my man Scott Copeland, also known as Ace Copeland. He looks awful frail there, but he could kill it. And the next one, we're going, of course, from left to right. Next is James McCord, and then his twin John, and then the last was Clay Usselton. And Ace probably could have played in college if he wanted to, but James played at Western Kentucky. John played at Middle Tennessee, and Clay played at South Carolina. So they were
great golfers.
They were really, really good players.
And they're all members over at the country club here in Tullahoma?
Correct.
And they keep playing?
They keep playing. Ace doesn't play quite as much as the other three, but the other three play awful lot.
Yeah.
And they're still awful good. James has been club champion probably at Lakewood 16, 17, something like that. But John has won at least twice. In fact, he won last year. And if
don't you think the
discussion comes up now, he will point out that he is the reigning club champion.
Do you think that the McCord boys have a little problem with confidence?
That's not their problem.
You know, our friend Tommy Martin, not too long ago, he was talking to James, I believe it was, and he said, James, can you beat Pat Welch in golf? He said, yeah, I can beat him one-handed.
Yeah, and
then he came. He said, "What about John Rickman?" He said, "Well, I don't think I need hands." But anyway, they're good guys.
They are good
guys. They've been good for Tullahoma, and we're really proud of them being the champions they were. And they're
very supportive of the golf team now, and try to mentor them and continue the growth of golf.
Now,
Clay's son.
Clay's son plays?
Right. He just signed with Jack, just signed with Belmont. He's a fine player. He's not a whole lot different from Ace as far as the size, but he's a really, really strong player.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to get a little bit bigger and he's going to be even stronger.
Are any of the kids taking golf up, or are they
out there now?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a fine team coming back.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they've got, I think last year's team was either third or fourth in the state, and returns at least 3 and maybe 4.
Who's coaching that team now?
Barry Bishop.
Barry.
Right.
He's the pro over at Willowbrook.
Willowbrook has done a nice job with them.
Yeah.
Really nice job.
Really, really good. But that's a good team, good picture of those guys, and we were mighty proud of them at that time, still proud of them.
That's exactly right. Still proud of them. So, John, that finishes segment 49, and you know what's coming next, if management will allow it.
Number 50.
Thank you.
The Animal Shelter has served Tullahoma dogs for nearly 30 years. Now, you can help us build a bigger and better no-kill shelter. Your tax-deductible gift is matched dollar for dollar. So come on, bark it forward and donate now to have your tax-deductible gift matched. Make your check payable to the CoT Shelter Building Fund and go to tullahomatn.gov to see all the unique gifts available for your generosity. For more details, you can call City Hall at 455-2648.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse. You need a claim number? Her personal assistant. Let me just grab a... Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
You hungry? Sometimes I get hungry. Not as much as I used to, because I kind of been on a diet a little bit, but oh yeah, then I'd really get hungry. You know, there's a lot of people out there who get hungry and don't have a way to fix that. They're not on a diet that they want to be on. They just have a hard time finding enough food. And we have two lovely people here with us today who are trying to help that situation. We have Cindy with Good Samaritan and Brandy with the United States Postal Service. Hi, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Very good. Thank you for having us.
25 years
Yes.
of the United States Post Office collecting food for the needy. It's wonderful.
Yes, I've been there for 19 of those.
You've been there for 19? And well, tell us a little bit about the program and what's required and when it's going to happen.
The food drive is May the 13th, which is this Saturday. And we just ask that you leave your non-perishable food items in the mailbox or on the mailbox for your carrier to pick up. And you can also drop them off at the post office.
So, I mean, if someone was going out of town, I'm just going to throw some questions out, and you know, Friday or Thursday, this week. I mean, can they come by this week and drop some stuff off? So, but that's the pickup day,
right?
On the post office box.
We'll pick up Friday too.
Yeah, okay.
We do.
You out there every day anyway.
Yeah, we're coming
rain or
around
shine.
anyway. We might as well get it. So.
Rain or shine. I love that old movie about the postman.
Yeah.
The one where the horse, where they riding and
Kevin
all that.
Costner.
Yeah, Kevin Costner movie. It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
And now, tell us how Good Samaritan's involved in this.
Well, Good Samaritan is one of the 4 recipients of the food drive. There is Good Samaritan of Tullahoma, First Christian Church, let me see, the Attic Outlet, and Wesley Heights Methodist Church. We all have food banks, and so because of this drive, Randy's hard work and her colleagues, we will get the food. Good Samaritan this year is actually, we're going to be hosting it, so we'll be the drop-off site, and they will leave they finish up their routes on Saturday. They will come by our location and drop off their bags of food, and then we have the task of sorting it and putting it in an organized fashion, and then we'll box it up, and then the other agencies involved that get the food will come and pick it up.
Well, that's great. Now, where is Good Samaritan? Tell these people out there, because somebody might not know, and they could come by Good Samaritan and drop their food off as well, couldn't they?
They certainly can.
Okay.
We are basically at 210 East Grundy. Okay, so close to Washington intersection and Grundy. And we have a ministry there where we help the needy, people in crisis. We help them with food, and we also help them with financial assistance.
Right.
And of course, many people do not know, but we have a wonderful thrift store, and almost anything you get there is $1. So it's a good deal.
That's a wonderful
it's a good
store.
Deal.
Yes, it is.
We've had some residents tell us that they've lived in Tullahoma all their lives and they never knew of our thrift store, and now they come in, and we have nice specials occasionally, so you can actually get things for less than $1. Yes.
Now, that's right there next to the Presbyterian Church?
Yes, Presbyterian Church.
Yes.
We're
used to be a funeral home at one point.
Exactly. It was
I believe it was the Tullahoma Funeral Home at
Correct.
one point. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
So just want to go, because we've a lot of us been here a long time. There's a lot of new people in this town. People coming in here all the time, and we don't need to just think all of a sudden that they know where everything is. It's always good to tell them where it is. And what route do you run?
Jackson Street.
Jackson Street. I bet that's interesting, isn't
Oh,
it?
it
How you
is.
like the new paving that's going on?
I love it.
That's not
It's
going
exciting,
on.
right?
Well, we appreciate both of you and what you're doing, and thank you so much. The Postal System for 25 years of helping people who might get hungry out there sometime and can't do anything about it. These lovely ladies are going to help you find something to fill that void up. Ladies, thank you very much for being with us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back, folks.
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. We help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back.
I have always been an advocate for letting people know about mental health, and this is May is designated as Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm so pleased to have Stephen and Michelle George. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
I'm so
having
glad
us.
you guys
Thank you for
came, and we're just going to get right into it. Is there a meeting this week, or was it last week?
It was
of
last
NAMI,
week,
National Association of Mental Illness meeting. I think we need to just go ahead and tell the public when that meeting happens and invite anybody that's interested in mental health of any kind, really.
Right. Correct.
Can come to those meetings. So where is it?
We meet the first Thursday night of every month, and we are now meeting at the First Presbyterian Church in Manchester.
So when you go in the front door, or do you go in the back door?
It's like a side door. There'll be a NAMI sign that'll direct you where to go.
NAMI. And I encourage anybody that has some questions about mental health to go there.
Yes. Correct.
And you don't have to have a mental health problem. You may know someone.
Exactly.
So that's important. I'm interested in knowing a little bit about your own story.
Okay.
From your words. Everybody has a different story.
Exactly.
So, is it you, Michelle?
Yes. I was misdiagnosed for over 20 years.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And they had me diagnosed with severe depression and severe anxiety, and I just did not seem to be getting better.
And were they pumping you with anxiety pills?
Antidepressant, anti-anxiety drugs, and high doses, and it just wasn't working. So there came to be a time in my life where it was so stressful, a lot of things going on, and I had a manic episode. It was just my first manic episode.
All right, now for people that don't know what a manic episode is, I'm sure for everybody that is also different.
Right.
So for you, what did you do in the manic?
For me, I started suspecting my husband of hacking my phone. I thought he was cheating on me. I wasn't sleeping.
You became very suspicious.
Yeah, very suspicious of him.
Sleep.
Yes, losing sleep, not eating. And I even just isolated myself in a bedroom, and just to let people know how serious a manic episode can be, I took the electrical outlets covers off the walls. I thought people could see me. I thought people could see me through the televisions. And
you felt somebody was watching.
Yes, yes. It was paranoid. I was paranoid. And so...
what was it that triggered you getting some help?
My
Were you
husband,
married at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been married for 15 years, and he stuck by me through everything. And
Stephen, you're a good man. A lot of people are booked and run.
Exactly.
A lot of people do. That's
a lot
true.
of people
Very
do. We've talked to a lot of couples.
People like that. Yes, ma'am.
But he stuck with me, and of course, I didn't think I had a problem. You know, I thought it was everybody else's problem. So he called the crisis intervention team, and they came, and I went.
So when you say the crisis intervention team, how do you get that? Is it in the phone book, or you find it? I mean, how do you know who to call?
You can get it through Centerstone, the mobile crisis intervention team.
Centerstone, that's a name to remember.
And they came, and they told me I needed to go to the emergency room, which I really didn't. I was mad. I was ticked off, you know, and that's just to be honest.
Because somebody interfered with
exactly.
your life.
And I didn't know what was going on. I thought all those years I had done the right thing. I did everything my psychiatrist told me to. And so, but at the ER, the doctor came in, and my experience at the ER was not very pleasant.
Good, yeah.
I mean, it
chances are they had no clue about mental illness.
No. I was right in 5 minutes of talking to the ER doctor. He diagnosed me with schizophrenia.
Just right off.
Yeah.
Just without any tests or anything like that.
Right.
Stephen, what was it that caused you to say she needs help?
Well, it was, I knew that wasn't my wife, and there was something going on, you know, abnormal behavior, as you heard. So it came to the point that I knew I had to do something, even if it cost me my marriage. You know, you love somebody that much, you do what you got to do, and I came to that point where I had to do something. So I called the crisis center,
and you did that without her approval.
Correct.
And you were willing, and that's what a lot of people don't do. They're not willing to take a chance on doing the right thing. Often the right thing hurts. It's not always a good feeling to do the right thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think it's important for people to know. So you did get help.
I did. I went to a hospital and ended up getting the same diagnosis as before. And my husband kept in contact with the social worker there. In fact, she told me that he was the most persistent person she had ever dealt with. And he kept telling them, no, this is not right. This is not right. And so they finally got me the right diagnosis on the right medication. And
so as a result, you are now on the right medication. And as you've been on this medication for a year, 2 years?
A year.
For about a year.
It's been kind of like a rebirth for me.
That's awesome.
I look at life totally different. It's like my eyes have been opened for the first time. Things that I didn't notice, didn't see, I see them now, and it's amazing what the right medication can do.
And do you mind telling us what your diagnosis was?
My diagnosis was bipolar disorder, and I'm also diagnosed with high blood pressure. And what I'd like to let the public know is mental illness is no different than having diabetes. It's a chemical disorder.
It's a chemical disorder, and the quicker you get a diagnosis, the quicker you can get help and live a life that makes some sense.
Exactly.
We're not going to have near enough time to ask all the things I'd like to ask and the things that I'd like for the public to know, so I hope you all promise to come back.
Okay.
But some of the signs of mental illness that people should watch for.
I think one of the main ones is if you see your loved one begin their sleeping patterns. That's one of the first things you notice. If they're sleeping too much, or if they're not sleeping at all, their eating habits change. They begin to totally isolate themselves.
Self-medicate, alcoholism, drug addiction, all this ties into that.
Exactly.
Food addiction, I think there's it takes many different forms.
Exactly.
And some of the resources for getting help, I think that's so important. We already mentioned the National Association for Mental Health that meets once a month on Thursday evening at, is it 6 or 6:30?
6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 till 8:30 at the First
Presbyterian Church.
And that's on Jackson Street in Manchester, right across from the food line.
And I think the thing that I'm trying to stress is that there is hope.
There's help. There's hope.
There's hope and there's help, and I know there's PTH, there's so many things to discuss. And so if you have any questions out there, give me a call and I will ask you guys to come back and we'll try to answer some questions.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We have to wrap this up.
That's okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
meet you again. George and Michelle. Michelle and Stephen George.
That's right. Two firsts.
We'll be back with other things.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with a material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
This is an American Red Cross blood donation alert. The Red Cross is experiencing a severe winter blood shortage. There is an emergency need for blood and platelet donors to give now and help save hospital patient lives. Donations are critically needed so that patients can continue to receive the life-saving treatments they need. Resolve to make a difference and help save lives by giving blood or platelets now. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday, Hearton Hospital celebrated their 50th anniversary of providing service and health care to Tullahoma and the surrounding communities. And I was down there, and we brought you a little video from that event.
My name is Rich Ellis. I'm the new CEO here at Sonoma Heartland. And I'm just really thankful to be here. My wife, Michelle, can you wave, Michelle? Stop texting. We have, Michelle and I have 5 children. We moved here about 6 weeks ago from southern Alabama. I just want to say that we're extremely thankful to be here. It's great to see all the people here this afternoon. We've had a wonderful 6 weeks here in Tullahoma and at the hospital and in the school system and the church. And I just want to start off by saying how much we appreciate the opportunity to become part of this family, become part of the Tullahoma family, and become part of the Heartland family through the hospital. It's just been a great experience. We're looking forward to more. I just want to cover a few procedural things, and let me start off by thanking our dietary folks. Ava Lynch is our marketing director. She put this whole event together with a lot of help from others, but she's done a great job. We have Cindy and Nancy over here on the music who have been wonderful. Is Angie South? Rose, is Angie back there anywhere? Okay. Well, let's give her a round of applause anyway. I'm just going to, it would be a little presumptuous for me to do lengthy introductions of people that you all know much better than I do. So I'm going to just give a brief introduction of our speakers that we have here today. Starting off will be Dr. Steve Bills, internal medicine physician who has been in the community for many years, is on our board, and is an integral part of everything that happens at the hospital. We're lucky to have his leadership and fortunate to have him in the community as a caregiver. We also have Mr. Joe Lester, who's here representing the Heartland family, and of course the Heartland family are the folks who donated the 11 acres for this land in 1964. This is the land for this hospital, and really got the whole thing going. Jim Lane was supposed to join us. Jim is an attorney. Again, y'all probably know Jim. He's chairman of our board, but he had a conflict and will not be able to join us today. Dr. Matt Campbell is joining us. He's our vice chief of staff. Our chief of staff, Dr. Bill Sanders, just had twin grandbabies down in Belle Chase, Louisiana, and so that's why he's not able to be here today. But again, Dr. Sanders is critical to everything we do and is just an outstanding healthcare leader. Dr. Matt Campbell, vice chief of staff, is here on his behalf. And then finally, we have Mayor Lynn Curley. Now, Mayor Curley stopped me this morning and asked me if I was doing the Walk to the Beach program, and I had to tell him no. So I've got some catching up to do, but we're thankful to have the mayor here. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Bills.
I got asked to do this, and I got asked to reminisce a little bit. And I tell you, that's a pretty tough call, this reminiscent stuff. I started doing it, and sometimes I laugh, and sometimes I cry. Sometimes I'm right proud of myself, and sometimes I feel very shameful. Don't we all have that experience? But it's pretty incredible to think about 34, 35 years ago when 2 young guys, Bill Sanders and myself, came here. This place has been going on about 15 years now, and I reflect on that. And Bill and I are somewhat hinges in this history, because I thought there's two guys that are still on the staff now. One would be Rampersad and the other would be Miley. And outside of those two doctors, the rest of them are gone, retired, or whatever. And we've got all new people now. It's pretty incredible when I reflect back on this medical community and what it was 35 years ago and what it is today. It's a whole different animal. And I got to tell you, there's very many things about it that I'm particularly proud of, and there's things that I'm not real proud of, but that's what the future's all about, is improving on that. We've seen a whole lot of change. We've seen a lot of people come and go, but we've seen, I think, a general improvement in our staff and what we offer here. To think that a little country hospital would have the cardiology services that we have right now, to think that this little hospital would be doing neurosurgery, to look at our hospitalist group, to look at our ER group. I'm mighty proud of our hospital. I'm just very proud of it. For everybody who's made this place what it is, for the Harton family, for all the administrators, for the people that work here, for the staff, and for the good patients that support this place, I'm so thankful.
662 employees, 120 medical staff members. Thank you for allowing me as the Harton family representative to make a few comments today. Lane Curley came by my office several weeks ago and said, I'm putting you on the program. I want you, as a representative of the Harton family, to share with us a little bit about Mr. Harton. Well, when I started taking notes, I got to where I couldn't stop. And I've condensed it best I can, so sit back and relax. I've got some few stories that will go out here, and there's a reason, because we're going to bring it right back to Harton Hospital, okay? But he was such a visionary. He saw way out there. And many of us today are going along with the fire alarm and said, Mr. Harton, you've lost your mind. You don't need an airport. But look what has happened today. Look how your airport has flourished. I mentioned earlier, I've talked with Ms. Harton, my father-in-law, and watched with many citizens in this town about, tell me about Mr. Harton. And one of the stories that I will always remember, Dr. Bill Sanders, who is on our staff here, his father, Bill Sanders, Jr., and I was sitting at Rotary together, and we were talking about Mr. Harton. And Bill made the comment, Mr. Sanders made the comment, said, Joe, he was 50 years ahead of his time. He told me this in 1980, 81, 82. Now you think about this. Bill Sanders Sr., Jr., Dr. Bill Sanders Daniel, said he was 50 years ahead of his time. Now here's William Sanders Jr., wisdom and the vision of John W. Harton. Here we are today, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Harton Hospital. 662 employees. What an impact it has on this community. Thanks again for allowing the Harton family to be a part of this program. This town meant so much to him, and he gave, and he would be so proud today of the accomplishments of this hospital. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the program, and may God bless you.
Welcoming everyone to Harton's milestone 50th anniversary celebration. Everyone here, whether past patient, physician, staff, volunteer, or trustee, has played a significant role in the success and accomplishments of this Tullahoma institution. I recognize that we are gathered here because this structure was completed 50 years ago. But I want to focus on what has taken place inside the building the past 50 years. Oh, if the walls could talk. Dreams have been born here. Difficult decisions have been made here. Last words have been spoken here. Prayers have been answered here. Healed patients have walked out of here. And miracles have been performed here. We've all cried together here. We've all laughed together here. And we've all prayed together here. And during these 50 years, Hart physicians, staff, and volunteers have never wavered from their vision of working to improve the health and well-being.
All right, these are the Harton heirs here at the 50th anniversary of Harton Hospital.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and I have one of my buds with me, and she's one of my cohorts in crime from time to time for the last 40-something years. My sister, Miss Candy Couch.
Hello, John.
How
Good
you
morning,
doing there?
Brother Daddy.
Yeah, that's we did Miss Tullahoma this past weekend for about 8 hours.
But we have queens. We
have queens. We sure did. We sure did. But that's not why you're here. You're here today to promote the American Legion Auxiliary Poppy Sale.
That's right, John. That's coming up. It's an event we have every spring, and 100% of the proceeds do go to the work for the veterans that we do here. And you know, years ago when the American Legion building, as a lot of us knew it, went away, people thought the work of the Legion went away. But indeed it did not. We have a building downtown at 111 Northwest Atlantic Street, and the Sons of the American Legion and the American Legion meet the fourth Tuesday of each month at 6 o'clock, and then the Ladies Auxiliary meet the fourth Thursday at 6 o'clock as well. We have a very nice building, and it's people have rented it out for birthday parties and receptions and anniversaries.
Has a full kitchen.
Has a full kitchen, and it's smaller than the building as we knew and missed and loved, but we still
and couldn't afford.
There you go.
But we got one we can afford.
That's right.
And it has a dance floor in it. Has a dance floor as well.
That's important.
It's very important.
Okay, but anyway, the poppy sale is held every spring, and it will be the 19th and the 20th. And on Friday afternoon, the 19th, the volunteers, Ladies Auxiliary volunteers, will be set up in front of Traders and the credit union, actually all day long. And then on Saturday, the 20th, it will be in front of Walmart and Kroger's, and starting I think around 8 o'clock in the morning, and bless their hearts, as long as they
can stand
hold
it.
out. That's right.
As long as there's poppies to sell.
Well, you know, we used to work the corners, and there was some problems with that, and age and out of control traffic.
Out of control traffic, and you know, when we used to do that, we and the Sons and the Legion did as well for Big Brothers, and there was nowhere near the traffic in town as there is now.
It's just not safe.
And it's not safe. It's not safe for the people trying to do it on the street, and it's not safe for the people driving the cars either.
Right.
So,
well, that's true.
You know,
that's
so
right.
It's dangerous both ways. So we had change.
That's right.
Change is not always bad.
That's right. It's not.
What are some of the things that, tell us a little bit about what the auxiliary gets involved in on a yearly basis and things that happen.
Okay, John, locally we send girls, as the American Legion sends boys to Boys and Girls State.
Right.
It's 100% paid for by the auxiliary, and that's held every spring, and we support the Special Olympics. We play bingo at the Life Care Center with the residents and patients there, and that is every month, and our volunteers go and run that. We support the Big Brothers program, and a lot of times there might be a fire or a need someone locally has, and so we step up and help folks out in that way. One of our members, Roxy Hoots, works with the Big Brothers and helps with medical equipment if someone needs that, and the Big Brothers we support by donating food to the boxes that are given out a couple of times a year, and that's a big part of what we do.
And every time that something happens at the Legion, like Veterans Day or some of the special meetings, these ladies show up with food.
Lots
good
of food.
Lots of food. So we want to thank them for that.
Right, and one of the other things that when you said veterans made me think of, every year on Veterans Day, we hold a ceremony to honor the deceased veterans from that year and have a memorial service.
And there's food.
Always food.
Always food.
Always food.
And you all spend a lot of time or still go to the VA hospital as well in Murfreesboro.
Right. The other things were just part of the local things that we do. But once a month there is a pizza party that the veterans enjoy. We have adopted 6 veterans there that we.
Isn't that great?
They have a canteen, and we send money to someone who disperses the money to them, where they can go to a movie if they'd like.
Get
the bus
a candy
takes
bar,
them.
Coca-Cola.
Sure. And clothing, and we support that effort as well.
Yeah,
the Fisher House is up there, which is very much like the Ronald McDonald House, where families can go and stay if their loved one is in the hospital and they need to have a place to stay. We support that. But there are over 2,000 volunteer hours by the Ladies Auxiliary every year, and most of these things are things people don't ever know about. But that's not why you do it. You do it to honor these folks.
While we're making a push here, because a lot of us in a lot of these organizations, our veterans organizations particularly, are aging. What does a young lady need to do to be part of the American Legion Auxiliary, and how can we get some of these 30-year-olds and 40-year-old people involved in the service work that you girls do?
Anyone who has, like, their father or their brother or an uncle or grandfather or mother or grandmother, anyone in their family who has been a part of any of the armed forces, then by being associated with them or related to them, that makes you eligible
to be in the auxiliary.
And that's just about everybody.
That's just about everybody.
Just about everybody.
That's true.
And again, it's something that you do with your heart to honor these folks who have so put their lives on hold and their lives out to protect us.
Right,
and this is a small thing that we can do to give back. And like I said, the poppy sale, 100% of the funds go to veterans work.
Veterans care. And something I can tell you from years of service with the American Legion, these girls are fun. You want to get around a bunch of gals that are going to have a good time and laugh and pick on one another and have great friendship. It's the American Legion Auxiliary.
That's right.
Good luck, honey.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. I want you to buy a poppy from me.
I will. Till next time. Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away, and choosing the right seat for your little one's age and size will take you down the road to safer travels.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
All right, we're back, and you did what?
I sold my very first puppy, my brother-in-law, John Gray. Yay, and he's also a member of the Sons of American
That's right,
Legion.
and the Legion.
My goodness, how many years did you put in out working out at the Legion?
Enough. Enough. That's a whole different life. Hey, what I want to tell you folks is we did video Miss Tullahoma this past weekend, and it will be on our channel coming up here in probably maybe the end of the week or so. I also went to the awards ceremony for our junior ROTC at Tullahoma High School the other day, and we got some video of that. It was absolutely one of the most impressive things I've seen, these young people and how they act and what they're doing with their lives. And that will be on we will show part of it on our show next week, but the whole service and ceremony will be on our website. That's www.channel6, the number 6, thelink.com. You can go to that, and it's an on-demand site. You'll be able to watch that anytime you want to there. And I hope you take time to watch that and see what these young people in our junior ROTC program are doing right here in Tullahoma. It's amazing. Girls, thank you.
John,
are we done?
Good to be with you.
Peggy,
Miss Peggy.
Until we strike a chord again.
There you go.
Be safe, folks. We'll see you next time.